The dollar we use now is on its way to bankruptcy. After this happens, the Fed will call in all debts, and when the debts cannot be repaid by the people, assets will be seized. And by this, I mean absolutely everything you own, including your property, your home, your vehicle, your furniture, and the clothes on your back. This plan is already set in motion, and when it really does take place, you will literally be owned by the Federal Reserve Bank. The seized land will be given back to nature in the name of climate change and sustainability, when really it is just the elite taking every single natural resource known to man for themselves and forcing people into smart growth megacities, while reducing the population through contaminated water and environmental problems as proposed in the Iron Mountain Report. Comment down below if you would like me to do a video on the Iron Mountain Report. Its contents will be very disturbing, but provoke mental freedom and release the mental bondages you are in, therefore allowing you to prepare and protect yourself from what is to come in the future. Debt is a form of bondage. When we make purchases on credit, they give only an illusion of prosperity. We think we own things, but in reality, our things own us. I have to stress the importance of doing the best you can to get out of debt. Being in debt is going to bring you even more harm than good in the coming years of our future. As I mentioned thoroughly in previous videos, by 2030 you'll own nothing and be happy about it. This is one of the Sustainable Development Goals, Agenda 2030, and what the World Economic Forum speaks about every year. Money is being printed at an astronomical rate, and people are just using it to buy things they can't afford with the money they don't have to impress the people they don't like. This is just the common cycle of people. It's very rare that we see people who aren't in the rat race, and I don't mean it in an entrepreneurial sense. I mean actually diverting the paradigm altogether. Getting rid of the rat race, not being your own boss or getting money a different way and starting your own business, but just literally ridding yourself of the paradigm. A lot of people don't think that's possible, but it is. You don't have to live in the social constructs of the world. You just don't. That's part of the whole Matrix kind of ideology, is that you have to live in it and be part of it to survive and thrive or be successful. And if you don't have these material things that 9 times out of 10 people can't afford, it's all leased, it's all, interest and loans. And if you give me $1, I'll give you $1,000 in a loan amount so you could purchase something and pretend that you can afford these things. And this is exactly how the Federal Reserve was built. It was built off of acquiring interest. Now, the heartbreaking part of this whole thing is that it's been part of our life since the beginning of time. Consume things, and the more you are in this city, the more you are around other people in the rat race consuming things, is the more you feel you need to acquire these things, is the more you feel you need to live up and fulfill the shoes in the social constructs, and it's just a vicious cycle. But how did you get in all this debt? How did it happen before your eyes? It's like you just realized you're in debt. Well, the second you go into school is the second they tell you you need to prepare for your college tuition. The second you get married, you need to buy a house. You need to get on a mortgage. The second you're out of college, you need to go and get a car. You need to have an adult grown car to commute to your work every single morning. These are things they prey on. They prey on these opportunities of social constructs to cause you to think you have to buy and purchase things that absolutely no one can afford. Now, of course, you have the 1 or the top 3%. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the average American, where now we're basically completely omitting the middle class. It's just going to be a rich or a poor.
To explain the map, the red are areas that are to be off limits to human beings. If you live there, you won't. The yellow areas are the areas for major control of all human activity. If you live there, you won't. The black dots are the smart growth zones. That's where human beings are to be stacked and packed in small living units, along rail tracks. The Smart Growth Program ultimately has jobs assigned and children cared for by the state.
The sad thing is a lot of people consider debt to be normal. I talk quite often on my channel about desensitizing and normalizing things that just shouldn't be normal. And one of those things is debt. It's a whole system, it's a whole game, because in order to have a good credit, you need to acquire credit, you need to have loans. They don't want you to pay off the loan right away. If you know how to build up your credit score, they need you to do it consistently on a month-to-month basis. If you pay off your loan too quickly, it actually works against your credit score. And that should tell you enough about it, because these companies, the Federal Reserve, these banks want to acquire interest. That's how they make money. That's how they've been making money since the beginning of time, is through interest. The debtor is a slave to the lender. We see this in the Bible, people. It tells us that we are foolish to buy things that we can't afford. It says that right here in Luke 14:28. And so many people buy things because they qualify it. They qualify for the credit, the loans, etc. Now, even J.P. Morgan, one of the founders of the Federal Reserve, says gold is money, everything else is credit. I always tell everyone on my channel to invest in precious metals, invest in bullion, allocate your money to precious metals, gold and silver. I have a video on that as well for anyone who wants to kind of get a beginner look on how to do that. All in all, in this video, I just want you guys to take a look at some of these verses in the Bible. They do show us that, we are a slave to the lender if we are the one borrowing. And you shouldn't owe anyone anything. This is very important. I know times are hard right now, depending on your situation. Learn how to get yourself out of debt. Learn how the Federal Reserve was built, and learn about the Sustainable Development Goals and the agendas behind it. Don't listen to a bunch of all that garbage that all these social media people are randomly popping out of the woodworks saying that they know what's going on with these agendas and blah, blah, blah. It's all a big game of telephone they're playing, and they're not giving you the straight facts. I recommend, using your own discernment and truly doing your own research. Don't even listen to me. Really use eyes of discernment. Do your own research. Do the work, guys. I try to make it easier for you on this channel. If you guys appreciate this content, feel free to donate to my research or become supporters on my Patreon. I have a lot of content on there as well. I actually do talk stocks on my Patreon as well, so hopefully I can catch you guys over there. And with that being said, I look forward to hearing from you all in my next upcoming video. Thanks so much for watching.